as she worked directly with orphanages in Romania, and I did mission work in Honduras. And that woman would go on to become Erica Kirk, as she married Charlie Kirk and had 2 beautiful children. And I say this because I'm a husband and a father, and I can't imagine the pain my friend Erica has felt over the past 2 weeks. She had her spouse's execution broadcast on the internet, and now her kids have to grow up without their dad. And I just can't stop thinking about Erica's first public statement, where she described her 3-year-old asking where her dad is, and it just wrecked me. And obviously, everyone knows Councilwoman Beck saw that and made a post mocking Charlie, and I just don't get it. This is not a random Twitter troll. This is an elected leader whose salary is paid with our tax dollars. And I'm not angry. I'm just genuinely sad. I'm sad for this country, and I'm sad for you, Councilwoman Beck. If someone's reaction to Charlie Kirk's assassination is to dunk on social media, like, you have anger in your heart that I can't comprehend, and that's just really sad. So if my friend Erica can forgive Charlie's murderer, then I can certainly forgive Councilwoman Beck, but the reaction by so many people in this country shows there's a sickness in this nation, and we need healing. And I know some people will disagree with this, but I'm a Christian, and I think this healing can only come through Christ. But whether you agree with that or not, I think everyone can agree something's deeply wrong with our country. And I know Councilwoman Beck took down the social media post. I haven't heard any statements since. I don't know where she stands. And I genuinely mean this. You're welcome at my church anytime, because I'm a sinner in need of a savior, just like everyone here. And I pray for the hearts of all our leaders, because it's a really dark time in our nation. And I'm here for my friend Erica, and I pray for her family. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sabrina Ball, followed by Danae.
My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself, why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, cause I'm a boss. But break them off, yeah, gotta break them off.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Prime Time with Alex Stein. I'm your host, Alejandro Stein. We got a great episode. That was a very emotional speech from our boy Jimmy. Jimmy, you got choked up, and I appreciate that, because I've been choked up by this Charlie Kirk thing. I think that's a normal emotion to have, is to be a little choked up after seeing a man viciously murdered who was a father of 2 children and a loving husband. I kind of like that emotion, Jimmy. How are you handling? I didn't realize that you were as close as you were to the CEO of Turning Point. That's good information to know.
Well, I think it's more, I've just thought about my own child in the moment, and that's what got me emotional.
Well, I love that. I love that. I think if she sees that she could not get mad at us at all. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that, guys. All right. Well, we got a great show for you this evening. We have the legend himself, Owen Shroyer, on. Should we just bring him on? I guess he needs no further introduction. Let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend. Owen, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. I don't know. The Primetime Alex Stein show starting a little emotional tonight. So I don't know. Can you do something to give us a little buffer now? I mean, how
yeah,
can
I
we?
Can do something.
We're
Give
trying
me a
to have
full
some fun
screen.
here.
Give me a full screen. Give me a full screen. Okay. So, yes. Okay. How about this? Here, I got a bowling pin, and can you get a zoom out so you can see this? Get this, Nate. I'm trying to bust this. If I can just. So we can start it out so the show's a little less gay.
All right, I was not expecting that.
All right. Ow, that hit me.
Apparently, you know what? I have a history of causing men named Alex to crash out now.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know what's up with that.
Dude, and now Alex has joined the Aryan Brotherhood, man. That's pretty crazy.
Look at this.
Look at this. Look,
they tried to bring me into the Aryan Brotherhood when I was in federal prison. I rejected. I ended up being a member of the Texas Independents instead.
Well, I might have joined in that situation. I mean, in that situation, you're kind of buying your privacy by joining a gang. But you know better than I do, because sadly you were a A political prisoner. Okay, Owen. So hopefully we got the gimmick stuff. I'm out of breath.
Thank you for that. I wasn't anticipating the heavy heart to come in the show. So thank you for buffering that.
Be honest. I know you're a man's man. You're a machismo guy. You're all about adrenaline, about testosterone, about driving fast, being a badass. Have you cried about Charlie Kirk?
Cried? No, I don't think I don't think I cried. My stomach sank. I had a lot of stomach sinking moments.
To be fair, Owen, everybody's stomach sank. It was a vicious video, but you didn't cry. I think that was a normal reaction, your stomach sinking, to be fair.
No, I don't remember crying.
You're
I'm not
too
a crier.
manly,
I don't cry
dude.
much.
You're too manly. You're too manly sometimes, Owen.
What is it? They say there's only a couple times in a man's life where it's appropriate to cry. Do you remember?
Your dog dying? Your dog dying, you're allowed to cry.
Okay, a dog's death.
Cat.
You know, I tend to cry more. What was the other one?
Cat.
No.
That's mine. Yeah, that would be maybe not cat.
You don't have to admit to that. We can edit that out in post.
No, we can't. We're keeping it.
I tend to actually cry more about good stuff than bad stuff, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, but that sounds, and Owen, you're one of my good friends. That sounds crazy. So you're telling me when stuff is going good, you start crying, and when they're
not like stuff is going good, but yeah, it's like if you're in a really good mood or something great happens, or like you see God's beauty in a sunset or a mountain, or you hear a great piece of music. I don't know that. Even a couple of movies I think have drawn me to tears.
That makes sense.
The last one was Real Big Fish. That one at the end of it, that one got me at the end.
Wait, but I want to go back to what you're saying. There is music that can make me emotional too, because it like makes you think of something. But what is Real Big Fish about? I feel like I never saw that. Obviously, I would know about it if I saw it. But
well, it's a great movie. It had a famous director. I forget who the director was. I believe Ewan McGregor, I believe, was the lead actor in that. But it's just a great movie about life and its meaning. And they do such a great job at the end because it's such a spazzed out, spontaneous movie, and it doesn't make any sense. And then they bring it all together in the end. And I think the purpose of it, to me, the meaning was you think about everybody involved in your life. You think about all the people in your life that you love, and you think about all the times you've had together, and he's sitting there on the deathbed, and it all comes rushing in. And it's just like that moment of like, wow, I've had such a blessed life. I have so many great people in my life. I've had great parents. I've had great grandparents. I've had great friends. And you just kind of have that moment of appreciation, and it just comes rushing in. So I don't know. I don't usually cry for bad stuff. I get upset, but I think I only cry over beauty and greatness.
I respect that. I do respect that. And normally I would always advise men never cry in front of a woman. It's like the most emasculating thing that you can do. So I do agree with that. But like if your friend dies, sometimes it's kind of hard, to not let the emotions come out. But I want to talk to you. We have a lot to talk about, though. Before we get to AJ and all that stuff, I want to kind of continue to talk about Charlie. Now, I'm so thankful that I get to be a part of Turning Point USA. And because of that relationship, I cannot publicly go on a podcast and talk about the conspiracies surrounding it. And I'm not saying that I need you to talk about the conspiracies tonight, but I guess when we look at this situation, what are your biggest questions kind of surrounding it without getting like too in the weeds? Like what frustrates you the most? What are the things that are most glaring that we need to address? Because you see how Turning Point is answering a lot of this stuff. The FBI, any of the rumors, they sound like they're kind of trying to handle it. Once again, I don't trust the FBI in handling anything. But I guess what is like the most egregious thing that even me, a person that's going to defend Turning Point USA, no matter what is something though that is egregious that you really want the answers for?
Well, let me avoid that question for a minute, and let me tell you what I think the big thing that I've seen after this assassination is we have gone right back into the left-right paradigm, and maybe even more deeply into it since 2016 that I've seen. And that's kind of been the aftermath of this, is people are like right back onto the left-right plantation, and it looks like the majority of the right wing now, the MAGA movement, has gone back 3 election cycles. It feels like this event has turned us back 3 election cycles. Now, I'm not somebody that goes totally against the left-right paradigm. There is obviously a left-right paradigm. But in this moment, why are we even talking about the left? Like, the only thing that we should be doing with the left is arresting their violent actors and the people that fund them and the deep state criminals. I don't want to hear about left-wing politics. It's worthless. We just won the election. And so it feels like this whole thing has sent us back 3 election cycles. And I thought we had moved on from the left-right paradigm. I thought this was about, we need to find out who stole the election in 2020. We need to find out who created a virus in a lab. We need to find out who illegally spied on Trump and other Americans, and then the political persecution of Trump and his supporters. Like, that's what this is about. This is about going after the deep state. This is about going after this criminal class that I thought we all understood now. I thought that that's where we were at. You know, Trump talks about it. Bondi talks about it. Patel talks about it. Bongino made a living talking about it. It's like, that's where I thought we were at. I thought we were finally going after the real crooks on the top, the real criminals. I thought the left-right paradigm was something we didn't have to deal with because we just won the election. And it feels like in the aftermath of this, we've gone full, we've head dive right into the full left-right paradigm again. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is 3 election cycles old. Now, getting back to the official story, you know, I haven't reached any conclusions. I've seen all the conspiracies and all the weirdness and all the rabbit holes. I really have. I mean, we can spend time on some of it if you want. But to me, I look at it like this. The official narrative is just impossible. It's just literally impossible to me. I don't see how I can accept the official narrative for what it is. The glaringly obvious ones are that a 30-06 bullet would get stuck in his neck. Obviously, that is not true. So then they say, oh, no, it actually, you know, it went down and hit his vertebrae in his heart and then came back up and got stuck in his skin. Oh, okay, that doesn't make sense. But even if that was true, then why didn't an eyewitness and the official report say that when Charlie got to the hospital, they were able to have a pulse for a little bit? They got a pulse back then.
That was
if a bullet blows up his heart.
That was very weird how they gave us that false sense of hope. I didn't understand that. And I heard from people that were getting information from the White House saying, oh, he has a pulse. Like, for about 2 hours, I thought that was very weird. Like, just don't tell us anything at all. Why give us this weird, like, that was almost like, that felt like some sort of kind of like an emotional trauma-based thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to call it trauma-based mind control, but they wanted to play with our emotions.
Well, and that kind of gets back into, you know, who had the information first, because Netanyahu and the Times of Israel reported on Charlie being dead before anybody in the American media confirmed it. Now, that's just a fact. I'm not going off of any, we don't need to go down any of those conspiracy theories.
Well, to be
yet.
fair, one thing I do want to say, and even though Nick Fuentes is getting killed for this, Charlie, and Turning Point has admitted, he could have been getting heat from his Jewish donors for having Tucker, and he could have been shot by a crazy furry adjacent weirdo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and I think that that's a very important distinction to make. There's no doubt that I think Charlie, like many other young conservatives, and whether this was something that Charlie had decided in his own mind, in his own heart, or if it was just he saw where the wind was going, you know, he had a change of heart on the Israel situation. Again, whether that was something that he decided on his own, or he just saw that, hey, you know, the generation of conservatives that we're talking to here, you know, they're very against Netanyahu and Israel. So we have to at least consider that. But I don't even think that's debatable. I mean, it's very public. He's made many public statements recently before his tragic death about where he stood on Israel and the situation there. So I don't even think that's up for debate. The famous meetings and the pressure that he was under to continue the positive narrative for Israel. Again, I don't even think that's up for debate. This is all public information. Now, all of that can be true, and that might have absolutely nothing to do with what happened that day. So I think that is a very important distinction to make. Now, having said that, I do not believe, where I stand right now, I do not believe for 1 second that Tyler Robinson took the deadly shot. I don't believe that for 1 second. Because the official bullet story doesn't make sense. And also, if you do a timeline analysis of the events of that day, you know, we have the first video of him running across the roof came from somebody that I believe was shooting on a cell phone that was at the event, if you recall. And
you're talking about the video where the crowd were like they were inside the bookstore and the guy running on the roof? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Well, if you time that out, that's about 3 seconds. It's roughly about 3 seconds after the first shot was taken. So how was he able to take a professional level shot We know nothing of any training. We don't know anything about any gun
His
training
dad
he's
was
had.
in the military, but whatever that means, I know.
But yeah, but we don't know about whatever personal training he had. We did hear about Crooks going to a shooting range before he tried to shoot President Trump. So it's like, okay, maybe we could conceive he would go up there and try to take the shot. We don't know anything about any gun training that the suspect had.
No, and
but
real
aside
quick,
from that, he takes a Colt.
Real quick, I don't want to get too deep into. You keep going, but I'm saying I saw drone footage, and I don't want to get too crazy. But they take that drone footage from where Charlie was into where the assassin allegedly was, and that looks so freaking far. I mean, it looks so. I mean, it just looks. It looks almost impossible. You know what I mean? It looks like.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that you or I couldn't go and train and be able to take that shot. You know, I'm not going to say it's the most difficult shot. But when I go and I listen to, well, I talk to people I respect, they're high-level military and like master shooters, and then I go and you can scour the internet and look for other military vets and security people that know shooting very well and shoot that gun. You know, it seems like they'll say, you know, it's not an impossible shot, but given the circumstances, a non-professionally trained shooter in the heat of that moment, I mean, his heart has to be pounding. You know, the scope he's got, you move 1 centimeter to the left or the right, you miss your target. You're not hitting him. So, I mean, you know, you got to be real steady. And then the pressure of the moment. But aside from all of that, let's even say that, okay, maybe all of that is possible. How does he get halfway across the roof 3 seconds after the shot was taken? If he's up there in a sniper's nest, as the story goes, we've seen no evidence of that, by the way. They have that video. They have the video of him on the roof.
Oh, they have to have
shot.
so much footage of him on campus. We've seen there's cameras all over. So I don't. They're not.
So why are they
releasing
hiding the footage? But again, how is he 3 seconds? How is he 3 seconds after the shot halfway across the roof? How is that possible? And how does he reassemble, reassemble, changing clothes?
That's
not
weird
changing
too,
clothes?
Owen. That doesn't make sense. He disassembled the gun, reassembled
Well,
it,
but
and
Alex,
it's
he
able to
left-
shoot. But you know, if you
He left
reassemble
the tools on the roof. How did he reassemble the gun if he left the tools in the roof? Now, somebody said this to me, and maybe it's worth mentioning because I don't hear too many people talking about this. I guess this is a potential. Maybe he took the shot with a different gun, and he had a gun staged in the woods to throw people off of the investigation. Or maybe someone else staged it in the woods. I'm just
That's
looking at all the
really
different
5D
potential.
chess. He brought 2 guns to the thing. I mean, that is.
Hey, none of it makes any sense. I'm just saying it
But that
could
would be smart.
a
You bring a
possibility.
gun with a different caliber, and then that maybe in the court of law they're like, oh well, you know, it couldn't have been this bullet because this gun
there
only
you go.
shoots this.
Now,
Yeah.
whether he thought of that or somebody else told him that, I guess is the big question. I would say he did not act alone. Even if he did take the shot, which I don't believe, I would say he did not act alone. I would say with 95% certainty, he did not act alone. And I think the sketchy behavior of his roommate, boyfriend, girlfriend situation, I think indicates that there was some sort of a prior knowledge. Plus, you had George Zinn, who just so happened to be on the scene to distract law enforcement from trying to find out who took the shot. What's up with that?
And he was at
So there was
9/11.
definitely prior knowledge. 100%. I would say there was definitely prior knowledge. Now, how much the alleged shooter, the suspect, actually knew about, who knows? But there was definitely prior knowledge.
Well, I just want to say I respect Charlie so much, so I don't want to come off as insensitive at all, but I do think Charlie would want us investigating this.
It is tough. It does make it tough. This is the closest to home for a lot of us. You know, this is the
Especially for
closest to
me.
home something like this has been.
It's like having a friend that died in 9/11. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, I had a friend, you know, I mean, we weren't best friends, but a person that I knew that died in a tragic public execution. It's a weird thing, and I want to be ultra sensitive on erring on the side of caution because I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I just don't have a lot of faith in Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. It's not them personally. I like them personally. But when we all know that there's a deep state and we know that there's multiple levels to the FBI and control this and that, they're just figureheads at the end of the day. And I don't know how much it can actually really get done.
And there's a lot of people out there that will take a contract to eliminate somebody that aren't on the map at all, that just aren't on the map with any organization. They're just individuals out there for hire. And a couple of high level military people that have done high level security and stuff, they came out and talked about this. They're like, yeah, I've been contracted to do jobs in Central America and South America where, you know, our job is to get in, do the job, and get out. And the reason they hire us is so that nobody finds out.
Yeah, people don't realize mercenaries are a real thing. I think the IDF hires mercenaries. I think a lot of people, you know, there's people that leave the military, whether they're American military, Russian military, and they actually go back and become professional soldiers for whatever random conflict needs people that they can hire to shoot people. So that is a real thing. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like we're a Dateline NBC episode where somebody's hiring a hitman, but there actually are people for hire that will literally go to war or do it clandestine in America or wherever. So that's not a conspiracy, but it's a really sad, harsh reality when you have to accept it. Now, okay, Owen, I don't want to get too deep into it because you and I have talked off camera about this because I know you respect Alex Jones greatly, and I know that he had helped you a lot. But can you tell us what is going on with this? How are you handling this? I don't think Alex, and I obviously respect Alex, I don't know if he's handling it that well because you were supposedly the pothead anti-Semite, and now Alex is copying Hitler, and
Oh my gosh.
I mean, who's crashing out harder?
Well, I don't think I've crashed out at all.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
there's been any crash out on my end.
Well, you haven't crashed out, but Alex seems to be having multiple crash outs, I had to say.
Look, I said my piece on that. I have nothing bad to say about Alex. Actually, I will say this. I will say this now, actually. He should have kept the Hitler mustache. He should have kept it. He shaved it today mid-show, and he should have kept it. He should have kept it.
And it went so viral. Alex is a king at going viral. You have
He
to admit
pulled it
that.
off. I don't know how many men could pull off the Hitler stash, but he did. He looked good, but he shaved it. He didn't feel comfortable with it, so he shaved it mid-show today.
It's actually thinning in a way. Not that he doesn't look good. Alex is looking thinner, but I'm saying for some reason it
Thinning? I thought you were going to say like it's like a time traveler. You know, it feels like you've gone back in time to like the 1940 or something.
It does. It feels like he's at the Olympics, like watching, is it Jesse Jackson win the 40-yard dash or whatever the hell he won, the 100 meters. But I'm saying it's a little thinning because it's a thin thing, so it elongates the face. I think that a fashionista would say that actually is. I think that looks good on Alex, believe it or not. So
Whatever Germanic roots he has in his lineage, I think it shows. It really shows in this picture right here. It really comes out of him.
Oh, well, now that you don't work there anymore, be honest, is Alex Jones Bill Hicks? We've always wanted to know. Is he Bill Hicks reincarnated?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
No.
I think that's
I don't
stupid.
think so.
People say that seriously, and they're retarded.
What's funny here, I will say this because it was a big learning experience. And I've had people make claims about me too, that I'm somebody else that they basically remade.
I always see the one
whatever.
that you're transgender, that you're born a woman and that you have a vagina. I see that one a lot.
Really?
Yeah, all the time.
I think
that's what they say.
that
That's why
you
you have
just started that
no,
tonight.
that's why you have the beard. They say, oh, it's Owen. His real name's Karen.
Yeah, that feels like you're starting that tonight. So we'll let that one slide.
I'll retweet it. I'll retweet it.
But I see so many people over the years. This was actually a really important learning experience for me. I saw so many people over the years report things about Alex that are I just know are not true, right? I just know they're not true. And yet they would report them with 100% confident. Like they are confident they got it figured out. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, wow. So obviously you don't know what you're talking about. And now I can't trust you with anything. Now to me, you look like a fool. You look like an idiot, and I can't take anything else you've ever said seriously. So the reason why that was a big learning experience for me, because it kind of taught me to go through my own process before reaching conclusions or assumptions about people specifically, because if you get it wrong, especially if you get it really wrong, then the people that know the truth are going to look at you like you're an idiot and a fool, and they're never going to trust you, and they're never going to want to hear from anything that you report ever again. So that was a really important learning experience for me. Most of the crap they report about Alex is untrue.
Yeah, no, and actually, trying to tie this back to Charlie, that's how I feel with Charlie, because I paid attention to Charlie, and I knew that he was actually critical of Netanyahu and critical of Israeli's government. I'm not saying he was obviously very pro-Israel. I think he would always say that he's very pro-Israel. But people didn't give him the credit that he was due Because he actually did ask tough questions. Everybody thought he wouldn't ask tough questions. The questions were there. You didn't see the clip. So it is crazy. We shouldn't jump to conclusions on powerful people like Charlie Kirk, jump to conclusions on powerful people like Alex Jones. Usually you're probably going to end up being wrong. Okay, now, Owen, what is the future for you? Because if you might, we've talked about this, I got 12 episodes on the blimp left. I'm so sad. I'm crashing out. So are we going to go, what are we going to go do? How are we going to make a living, dude? I got to make some money because I got to go to Vegas and I have a horrible, online shopping addiction. So what are we going to do for money, Owen?
This is a lot of pressure you're putting on me here, actually. I thought these were private conversations.
No, I need you to help me because right now, we do have a lot of viewers. We got over 2,000 on YouTube and over 1,000 on Twitter. So we got some decent views, but I need your help. Yeah, because we're both screwed, dude. We got to get a job fast.
Well, I would say this. I think that you and I could do a great show, a late night style show, and anybody that would want to pick that up, a network that might want to pick that up, I think it could be a big smashing success.
I think so,
because we actually, you and I have been friends for a while outside of the professional world, and we kind of talked about that for a while. But I was always a network guy, and you've been a pimp on a blimp high in the sky, and so now we've kind of looked at it like, hey, well, maybe it is time for us to collaborate. Maybe it is time for us to reinvent a late night commentary show. Between the two of us, and we kind of thought of it like, we'll do a pretty stereotypical thing. You'll be on one end, I'll be on the other end, and we'll have a hot broad in between us, bringing us in and out of the breaks.
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot of fun. I think people would enjoy it. Maybe the window of opportunity is upon us.
I like that idea a lot. And, we can always be a little devil's advocate because that's the other lie that people don't realize. And you're a sports fan, huge sports fan, even though people say that you're plugged into the Matrix. All those sports debate shows, it's all bullshit. Like, they probably all agree that, the Cowboys stink or whatever, but they just had to put the argument that, you know what I mean? They had to say, oh, the Bears are going to beat them this week, but that was bad last week. The Cowboys got their ass kicked. I was looking at Twitter at those touchdowns at Charlie Kirk's memorial, like crying about Charlie and the Cowboys. It was very weird.
Jeez, Alex.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
So that's why you were really crying. Come on.
No, it was more Charlie, I swear, because I expected the Cowboys. Caleb Williams listen, the Cowboys are the biggest gay pride franchise in the league. They had the gayest quarterback in the league, Caleb Williams, playing. They're going to have to let him win.
You mean the Bears?
The Bears.
You mean the Bears.
What did I say? Caleb Williams? Well, you know what I mean. The Bears who have Caleb Williams, who's a homosexual and paints his nails. The Cowboys are always going to let that guy win. That's the rule of being,
I know he paints his. He's not actually gay, though, is he?
He cried after he lost to his mom on the stands. So you don't like crying, right? You saw that clip, right?
Wait, what happened?
You've never seen this clip? Are you kidding? Are you serious? Let me show you. You're about to freak out. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I saw him throw a temper tantrum earlier this year because he had a bad game.
Dude, Caleb Williams
That's
cried.
not what you're talking about, is it?
No, he cried. He cries with his mom after losing it. Freaking look at him. Look at this video. Let's play. Gosh, I should have signed in. Hold on. It's a damn commercial. I got the premium on my other thing. All right. Okay, hold on. Look at this. Look at this. So they just lost a tough game by 10 points.
So that's him.
Jumping up and
Is this like his final game?
No, it's not even the final. I think it was like towards the end of the season, 7-3, but I think they were still going to a bowl game, so I think they still had another game. Okay, so watch him. Oh shoot.
So maybe his BCS championship bid ends or something. I don't know. You know what? I'll say this. If he did that in an NFL uniform, then I would bury him for it. But
dude, look at him. He's convulsing. Look at his body right here.
He's a kid. He's a kid.
He's like 22.
I let it go with the kids.
And he's got an NIL deal richer than both of us times 20.
Oh, sure. He made tons of money. Yeah. Well, I guess that's true. I guess they are kind of professionals now.
Yeah, dude. Have some decorum,
I don't know enough.
Man.
I don't know enough about this to reach any conclusions. It's not a good look. You would never catch me doing it. I'll leave it at that.
The only people that are allowed to cry are the fat offensive linemen or defensive linemen that were abused by their stepfather. They're the only players allowed to cry.
Are you?
I was not abused by my stepfather.
Do you have trauma? Do you want to express?
In the black community, and I played at the University of South Florida my freshman year, and the stat that we led the NCAA with, and I think I told you this stat, is we had the most players with kids on the team. So we had the most NCAA fathers on a college football team. We had like 20 or something. It was crazy. So we had a lot of baby mamas, a lot of Pell Grants. But what happens, though, in the black community, unfairly and sadly, there are deadbeat dads, and that happens in the white community, but it's a little more prevalent in the black community for whatever cultural reasons you might, think. But so the woman always gets another man, and so they always have like temporary stepdads, and those temporary stepdads are like the worst. They're always kicking their ass. So I always remember hearing stories of my teammates talking about how their mom's boyfriends would kick their ass, and that's why they're tough.
That's
so
a
good
deep
at
cut
football.
right there.
It is.
That's an
No.
Alex Stein deep cut.
Imagine how good of a football player you would become if you were being beaten by your stepdad as a young kid. It would make.
So you're telling me that Adrian Peterson's son is about to, that's going to be a high draft
He
pick.
spanked his son, yes. And I think Adrian Peterson's mom, he was recruited, and I know that he was actually in the same recruiting class or he's a year older than me. He was from Palestine, Texas, great running back, phenomenal. Texas wanted him, but they actually were kind of worried. They were going to recruit him harder, but they didn't think that he would actually be able to graduate because his grades were so bad, because supposedly Adrian Peterson's mom is, and I'm sorry, Adrian, is an actual crack whore. And I'm not kidding. I'm not going to call his mom a whore. But Adrian Peterson's mom had the serious substance abuse problems that she was like in and out of his life. So Adrian, and you see Adrian Peterson's career. Did you see him get in a fight the other day and get his ass kicked?
Adrian Peterson?
Oh, you didn't see Adrian Peterson get his ass kicked? Are you kidding?
That was at that gambling event? That was
Yes.
some months ago.
Yeah, dude, he got his ass kicked, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was probably holding back because if he catches a charge, it's not good.
Dude, let me find it. No, dude, give me a break. He has CTE. He's an NFL football player. Like, okay, hold on. He used to be at one point like the multiple MVP. I mean, he's like the toughest.
Oh yeah, he's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
he's one of the best running backs of all
Guys,
time.
my hair's looking crazy. Okay, let me find the damn thing. Okay, is this the? Okay, I
This
think
is a
It was
great
at like
preview
it was
of
at
the
some
show.
weird casino event, right?
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
poker thing. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is the one of the greatest running backs of all time, arguably the greatest college running back of all time.
Maybe he was drunk.
Still, dude, he's getting beaten up by like H1B.
Well, he's
visa
smart.
guy.
He's smart because if he hurts somebody, he's going to catch a bad charge.
Supposedly he's already in debt. I'm not even kidding. I think he's broke. He's in.
Isn't that wild how that works? You hear about that so often. These guys make millions of dollars.
This isn't the damn video. I don't know where it is, but.
No, that's the one.
I know,
that's
but
the one you had.
I think that one the video is just like stills from it. I guess maybe they're getting copyright strikes or something because he's trying to hide it. Let's see if let's see if this guy gives some commentary.
How do you feel about are you rooting for your former quarterback Matthew Stafford, or are you ready for him to finally retire because he just keeps throwing TDs in the NFL?
Okay, it's funny that you say that. I was just thinking about Matthew as the Rams quarterback. And he didn't announce that he is going to retire, did he? Did he announce that he's retiring?
No.
Yeah, so he did.
I don't think so.
But they're like trying to get him to retire. If I know Matthew, because I grew up with the guy, he's going to be like Tom Brady and try to play it until they don't let him. That's just the kind that's the kind of competitor he is, though.
The problem that he's going to have is he's gotten too beat up. He's taken too
having
many hits
injury,
over
trust
the years.
me. And he's not an idiot too, but he does have that competitive nature. This is how I describe Matt Stafford and why he was like special. Because you're like, how was he so highly recruited? Why was he different? Matt's like the type of guy like, and I think I told you this story too. Like if he's throwing darts, he can like hit the bullseye every time. If he's playing pool, he can make every pool shot. If he's playing basketball, which he was an incredible basketball player, could have been, I don't know, a college basketball player, but, close to it. If he put his mind to it, he definitely could have. But he was just a guy, when he's on a diving board, I remember when we'd be swimming, we'd be at the public pool, he'd be doing like triple flips or whatever. He's just a guy that's like naturally competitive and talented at everything he does. Straight A student. He just has that like gift. And because he's so psycho in a good way, you know what I mean? Like in a good way, because he's so dialed in and he wants to win at everything he does. He wants to be the best of the best of the best. Unless his wife makes him quit, he's going to probably play until, they make him be a backup. I don't think he would want to be a backup.
Well, his wife seems pretty supportive.
Yeah.
And he provided one of the greatest moments for NFL films ever.
That when he's mic'd up, well, dude.
Yeah,
that
and he separated his shoulder and then went back on the field and threw the touchdown, and his shoulder was out of socket. That was pretty epic. That's probably the guy you're talking about.
One of the greatest to ever do it. Now, Owen, real quick, I want to dive deep because we only have you for a few more minutes. I've been watching this weird Zhang guy, and this guy's insane, but he's right about some stuff, and he'll like say stuff that is just categorically false. But this is a video about secret societies and what they believe in. And I'm going to speed it up because he talks kind of slow. Hold on. Playback speed. 125. So we're going to play it, but I'm going to fast forward to about the middle of it. So I'm going to give you a little introduction, then we're going to fast forward to the middle of it. Something interesting in this video. Hold on.
So what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is explain to you what most Christians believe about their religion, okay? This is called the orthodox or the canonical perspective. Okay, so this is what you're taught officially by the church. Christianity has many different factions, but they all believe in a certain interpretation of the Bible, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the apocryphal. Apocryphal just means hidden, okay? Or secret, or esoteric. Just the secret knowledge that is kept within these secret societies. All right, so the Orthodox canonical comes from a reading of the Bible. And the Bible, at its core, is a story of the covenant between God and humans, okay? Covenant. Covenant means contract or understanding. So throughout the Bible,
I'm about to fast forward.
there
I just want you
are
to
a series of
give
covenants,
little
okay? The first
pretext.
covenant is between Adam and God. So you may have heard of the story of the Garden of Eden, right? God creates the universe, then creates the Garden of Eden, where he puts Adam and Eve. And God says to Adam and Eve, this is paradise. You don't have to work. Just enjoy life. The food is free. The food is plentiful. Every day you'll be happy and free of want. You will live forever. But there's only one thing that you must not do. And only one thing, okay? Whatever you do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Just don't do that and you'll be okay. So of course, what do Adam and Eve do? They eat the stupid fruit, okay? So then what God does is he banishes Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden, and now they're forced to work, to grow food, to feed themselves, okay? And this leads to society, okay, development of society. God looks down from the heavens and sees that humans now are going to war. They are fighting.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I want you to see the end, because the end is insane. So he kind of talks about the tenets of, and it's his interpretation. You don't have to say he's right. I don't think he's right, but he's going to talk about what the esoteric versions of Christianity and all religions are to the secret societies. That's where I think is interesting, and I don't think it's true, but let's just watch it. Okay, so, okay.
Prophet.
Okay.
Okay? In fact, Jesus is God himself. That's why it's called Christianity, because they believe in Jesus Christ. So this is the entire history of Judaism and Christianity, what they believe, officially. Any questions before I move on? Okay, but now as you can understand, if you are a true Christian or you're a true Jew, there are actually lots of issues with this understanding. Okay? The first issue is, why did God have to kick us out of the Garden of Eden? I mean, was eating of fruit so bad as to banish us from paradise? Like, what was wrong with eating that fruit? Okay, that's a great mystery in the religion. Why did the original sin happen? And why was God so angry? Second problem is Noah. I mean, like, God destroyed the world because we were wicked. But after he destroyed the world, we were still wicked. So why did God have to destroy the world in the first place? If he's God, then should he understand how humans are? Wouldn't he understand that destroying the world would just, I mean, it doesn't really do anything, okay?
And we're about to fast forward to the end.
So that's kind of strange. The last problem is Jesus. Who was Jesus? And why did he have to kill himself? Why did God have to send his only son to die for humanity? Okay, so if you're new to Christianity, the very idea of Jesus actually doesn't make much sense to you. I grew up in the West. I grew up in a Christian world, and it never made sense to me, okay? People told me about how great Jesus was, like, okay, the story doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so to give context, this guy is like a Marxist, communist, Chinese teacher. So that's why he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in any of this stuff. But what he's going to say next, like this is what he mixes stuff that's true and false. Now he's going to describe, have you ever heard of what a demiurge is, Owen?
A demiurge?
You're about to hear. Okay, so this is what the secret societies believe is our origin. They believe in a polytheistic view of the world. Hold on, let's watch this. Okay.
Lots and lots of children, and these children now are like demigods, right? So what do they do?
Here.
Oh, wow, these humans, these females are really beautiful. So what do? Well, they have sex with them.
The Nephilim.
Right? And then what happens? They have lots and lots of children. And what do these children do? These children enslave humanity. These people are called Nephilim, okay? So if you want to understand what happened, let's do a thought experiment. Let's just say that there's this group of superhumans called the Avengers. You know, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, okay? And they fight Thanos, and they save the world. And now what do? Well, they're bored, so they start to have lots and lots of sex. They have lots and lots of children, and these children now are like demigods, right? So what do? Well, they enslave humanity, But then what do? Well, they start fighting amongst themselves. Okay? So that's basically what happened. So God had to destroy the Nephilim because they are not natural. Angels and humans are not supposed to have sex with each other. And this creates a new
Okay, he's about to get into
Nephilim.
it. Now he's about to get into it.
The problem, though, is the Nephilim are divine, and therefore, they cannot be killed. So you can get rid of their mortal bodies, but now they become demons who live underground and are in the shadows.
Demons. So he says that. Okay.
And
So almost done.
guess what, guys? They're still here today. So these two societies, they believe the Nephilim are real, and they still control the world. The richest people in the world are actually Nephilim, okay? Because they've been around for thousands of years, and therefore they're able to control the development of humanity. Okay, so they're called the Nephilim. So that's easy to understand.
Now this is where it gets spicy.
Now the question then is, wait a minute, why did Adam eat that fruit, and why did Jesus have to kill himself? Well, now it gets really complicated, okay? So now I need to explain to you what the secret societies believe, okay? Remember, they believe that mind leads to matter. What does that mean? Okay, let me explain what this means. Mind leads to matter. In the beginning, the true God is called the monad, okay, the one.
The monad.
So just think of this as the core of the universe, the sun, the divine sun. The monad is so powerful that when he breathes, okay, he vibrates divine energy. And over millions of years, this divine energy creates new life forms, okay? So the first life form are called the dyads. Dyads are just pairs, okay, usually male, female, that are children of the monad. And they're able, by themselves, to create new universes as well, okay? So the dyads start to emanate, okay? So the entire universe is vibration. It's vibrational energy. It's the breathing of these cosmic beings, okay? And over time, over millions of years, these vibrations become atoms, which then leads to matter, okay? That's what they mean by mind leads to matter. Now, one of these dyads, named Sophia, decides, you know what? I can be just as good as the monad. What does the monad do? The monad is able to propagate by itself, by himself. He doesn't need to mate. So Sophia says, you know what? I'm going to produce something by myself. I'm going to have a child by myself to prove I am the monad, okay? So she does this, and she creates a new being, okay? A new being. This is called the demiurge. There are different names. We'll call them the demiurge. The demiurge is a monster, a monstrosity, because it goes against a natural order. So then Sophia's like, oops, I shouldn't have done that. So what does she do? She abandons the monstrosity. She throws him away and hides him in a sea of clouds. So no one knows he actually exists. Okay? Even the demiurge doesn't know he exists. The demiurge does not know about this world, right? Therefore, he believes that he must be the one true God, capable of creating new life. So what does he create? Us. Okay? He creates the planet Earth. And then he creates Adam and Eve. Okay? That's what a monster would do. Okay? Look at this history. What kind of God would kick someone out of paradise for eating a fruit? A monster would do it. Right? What kind of God would kill a people for no particular reason? A monster would do that. Okay?
Where does he get his source material here?
No, okay, so that's enough of that. So I looked into this demiurge thing. That's a real thing that they talk about in Freemasonry. They do believe in that.
So is this guy's not a Mason, though?
I don't know what I don't think he believes in any of this stuff, but he covers a lot of this secret society stuff. And have you heard any of that stuff? The monad and the demiurge? I've never heard any of that crap in my life.
No, that's all new to me.
That's weird stuff. Is that not weird? I'm not saying any of it's true. I don't believe that. I'm just saying, dude, you know this, Owen, real quick, because we want to talk about James Comey before you go, because I know he's one of your arch nemesis. You know this, Owen, that there's people, even at the top level of Christianity, Judaism, Catholicism, whatever, that is looking for secret spiritual knowledge. You know what I mean? So there is a different level than we're privy to when it comes to religion. And I'm not saying that's right, but just trust me, when these secret societies, when they have meetings, they're in there like, well, this is the true story of our origin. We can't tell people. So hearing that story and kind of knowing that the people that are in power like to manipulate us and lead us in the wrong direction, I mean, the chat was interested. The chat, we gained nearly 1,000 viewers from that Chinese guy. I can't believe it.
I actually like these topics. My understanding is we are definitely being lied to about human history on this earth. Now, as far as human origin is concerned, or even larger questions about the universe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if humans really have that knowledge or not. But I do believe that, And I think one of the most powerful scenes to illustrate this is in Apocalypto, where the elites, they know the eclipse is coming. They have the secret knowledge of the sun and the moon, and so they know there's about to be an eclipse. But the people, they don't know that. There's only a certain amount of people that know about the eclipse. So they have this giant ritual all around the eclipse, and they're pretending like they're all powerful doing these sacrifices. And if they do it right, then the gods will show them by blocking out the sun. Now we know that lunar eclipses, solar eclipses are just on a calendar. They're just on a timetable. But the people didn't. So they do this, and then they see the elites blocking out the sun and communicating with God, and they think, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so that's how they gain power and enslave the people. That's just an illustration, I think, of what we're all experiencing. I do believe that there are secret societies with ancient human knowledge. Now, as far as that extends, I'm not sure, but I do believe it's pretty obvious to anybody that looks into this. Human civilization seems to come and go about every 3,000 years. There's a cycle, and there is a major catastrophe. And this is actually, I mean, really, this should be mainstream anthropology, and this is why it gets so weird. They don't teach this. They don't teach this in schools. You have to go out and look at like a Graham Hancock or a Jimmy Corsetti.
Göbekli Tepe. They don't talk about how that's the oldest church. It doesn't. It just because it ruins our timeline.
Well, exactly. And it's, you talk about the pyramids, you can talk about the megaliths in South America. It completely destroys the theory of evolution. So I think the theory of evolution is an intentional, let's say, deception over people so that they don't understand divine creation. I do believe we're divinely created, and I think there's proof that we can send rockets up into the air. We're amazed when a monkey figures out how to steal an alcoholic drink at a bar. Like, oh my gosh, that shows signs of intelligence. Meanwhile, humans are, sending Falcon 10s up into the sky. So there's no doubt that we humans have some sort of a divine consciousness, some sort of a divine creation, but they don't want you to know that. They want you to think that you've evolved from some lower life form, and that's the big lie. And when you look at real human anthropology, you realize, no, human civilization has been advanced and fallen, advanced and fallen, advanced and fallen. I would say at least 3 times that we know of, at least 3 times, because you can go and look, whether it's a flood or something else, something destroys the civilization, buries it underground, and then when humans can inhabit the land again, they build on top of this. There's a huge conspiracy over Göbekli Tepe. I might be getting that wrong. I believe it's in Turkey.
That's what I was just saying. Göbekli Tepe or Teki.
Yeah, Göbekli Tepe, something like that, where there's this massive structure that's buried underground. And these archaeologists wanted to go and dig it up and study it. And there's just been a massive fight. And they've tried to lock it down and stop people from seeing it and stop the discovery from happening. And you just say, why? Why wouldn't humans want to know about our history? And it gets back to what you said, because they want you to believe in the theory of evolution. They want you to believe that you evolved from a squirrel turd. Humans have been on this planet, advanced civilization. I would say it's provable at least 12 to 10,000 years. It's provable that there is advanced civilization with advanced knowledge, even knowledge of the celestial. And to me, it's been proven by, let's say, alternative anthropology. But they don't teach this because they teach evolution, and the real human history, the real anthropology destroys the theory of evolution, but they want to keep you down, not realizing that you are a divine creation of God. Whatever that may mean to you, that's what I see going on. And so that's what I think. If there is a secret civilization that has that knowledge, that has survived all of these different apocalypses and catastrophes, they are keeping that knowledge from us intentionally.
Yeah, they are. And to your point of talking about divinity, I was just watching another YouTube video, and it was talking about this creation and stuff, and that a woman's womb actually is the portal of divinity. It's the divinity portal. That's like what they call it, because that's where life is made, and it can only be made in a woman's womb. So that is literally where we jump into the game, or what, you know what I mean? That is, we don't realize how
that's
important.
True.
I'm saying people,
the divine portal.
That is the divine portal. It's huge. That's a big deal.
And then you realize this is why they push abortion so much.
That's the exact reason why people don't realize the portal of divinity, I think is what it's called. There's like this ancient, it's like whatever, all this occultism or whatever, but it is the portal of divinity. The woman's womb is like the essence of life. It's just so important, and we just basically give free abortions, but we can't give any other health care for free. It doesn't make sense, Owen.
Well, and this is what all the ancients actually believed. They worshipped it to a certain degree. Like that's why you would call it the divine portal. And now look at how we teach it. Oh, it's just a clump of cells. Oh, it's just a meaningless thing. Oh, yeah, you can go kill it, but that's not murder. That's okay. It's actually a good thing. If we taught humans that's a divine portal, and the odds of that soul and that life and that human coming up into this consciousness is 1 in 10 billion, we probably wouldn't be having millions of abortions every year, would we?
And on top of that, I mean, our population is declining because people our age are just having babies later, and it's just we're actually going to have a population collapse, and we're going to have to be all, I guess, replaced with illegal immigrants. It's insane. Okay, last thing.
I don't know. I'm not really I'm not the biggest proponent of the population collapse theory.
Wait, you think that's fake? But if you look at the numbers, though, it's like Americans are having like half a kid, and supposedly the numbers need to be like a full kid or something, or else the numbers technically decline. And if it stays at that rate over forever, it would decline. But yeah, I don't think it actually ever will collapse. I agree with you on that.
I mean, human population, as far as I can tell, has been nothing but going up.
Yeah, you're right.
From the time I was born, I'm 36 now. You're 36.
Well, I guess white people. I'm older than that. Don't worry about my age. I'm 26. If anybody's asking.
Oh, that's right. You're a year older. I forgot you're an 88.
I'm 20. But
yeah, if you want to talk about like demographics, that's a different
white
story.
People are going bye-bye. We're 8% of the global population, and that's getting smaller by the day. So
so that is an undeniable fact. I can't refute that. That is just a fact. But this whole population collapse, I don't know. I don't really understand it. I don't really get it. I don't like traffic. And I feel like as far as my time on Earth is concerned, I think the population has gone up like 1 billion.
Yeah, you are right.
I think it's gone up like 1 billion. Now,
they're all Indian, though. They're all Indian.
Yeah, most of that is in Asia. But no, I don't. I mean, if you want to talk about, hey, there's a population collapse of, say,
white people,
Anglo, white, whatever, then okay, that's just a fact. But the whole theory of the population collapsing, and then I guess that leads to what, civilizational collapse? I don't know. I'm not a big proponent of that. I just don't buy it as much.
Well, Owen, thank you for sitting. I'm so happy we got you basically for the whole hour. But this is the last question. James Comey indicted. Are we going to actually? I think it's all a dog and pony show. Well, I mean, I know you want him indicted probably more than anybody. Are we going to get any justice, Owen?
Well, I would just say this, and I'm sorry because I know this hurts people's feelings. I have very little faith that we're going to get much at all out of this administration, unfortunately. There's good things. I can't deny that there's good things. The border is definitely secure. We've deported a lot of bad people. When Trump pardoned the January 6th political prisoners and released innocent men and women from jail, to me, I will never, that was enough for me to say, okay, thank you, Trump. I'll never say I regretted voting for you. I'll never say, oh, we made a big mistake. That alone, to me, freeing the innocent men from prison, I will never regret voting for Trump. I will never regret it, and I'll always appreciate him for that. But that doesn't mean I'm going to turn my head now when bad things are happening. Look, let's see what happens with James Comey. That should be one of, quite frankly, probably 100, if not thousands, of indictments and arrests that need to come. Right now, it feels like more of a show and tell, a dog and pony show, as you said. Once the deep state actually gets arrested, then we can talk about, hey, this administration is getting serious. So I'm not too excited about the Comey indictment. I want to actually see results. Comey is one of hundreds or thousands that needs to be indicted and investigated. But you know what? Here's what it looks like we're going to get. It looks like we're going to get more war in Ukraine. It looks like we're going to get more war in the Middle East. And then as far as my life is concerned, nothing is getting easier for me. The economy still sucks. Grocery prices still suck. Energy bills still suck. Gas prices still suck. The housing market still sucks. Yeah, I mean, look, it's the first quarter. We're still in the first quarter of Trump's administration, so things could change. Things could potentially change.
Yeah, but real quick, I don't want to cut you off. you just nailed it, though. The middle class is evaporating. Nobody,
We're getting crushed.
Yeah, nobody can afford to buy a home. So unless they start giving out free homes, which they probably could, because really, I hate to blame the boomers. They've monopolized all the wealth. They all bought their houses really cheap. They're all going to die and probably take that money with them, because they're probably disconnected with their kids, sadly. And some people are connected with them. But I'm just saying, the population, the age gap, I believe it's like from 70 to 80 has like 80% of the wealth in America. It's something ridiculously lopsided, the amount of wealth that the elderly have. And you would give the argument that, oh, they've worked longer, they have it. No, they had a special generation where they were able to buy stuff cheap and sell it for a lot that you and I will never, ever, ever have that opportunity in our lives.
No, it's so bad right now. The housing market is so bad. I actually just went through it because I was trying to buy a new house and move. And it's so bad, it's like almost impossible. It's almost impossible to do it without being forced to make a bad financial decision is really the only way I could put it.
When you're competing with banks, too, and you're competing with BlackRock, I mean, it's the playing field's not level.
Yeah. I will say this, Bill Pulte, I think he runs the Federal Housing Administration, I believe is his role. His group actually does a really good job. I was about to purchase a house through his group, and they did a great job meeting all my parameters. And then what happened is, because I'm self-employed, it's impossible to get a home loan because I'm self-employed. And then because I have pending litigation, because I'm constantly getting sued for my politics, nobody wants to take, they consider that high risk.
So Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac will not give you a deal?
Nobody. I mean, I'm looking at 7-8%. If I take out a home loan right now. And the house that I already have, I've got a great interest rate. I've got it at 2.9. I paid a highly inflated price, but the interest rate is so low that my monthly is pretty low. And it's like now, dude, this is how crazy it is. And people that are going through this, I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can put a down payment on a house right now. I'll put double what I put on the house I currently owned. Double the down payment, and the house will be 50 grand cheaper than the house that I'm in right now. And my mortgage rate monthly will be $1,000 more expensive. $1,000 more expensive. It is so insane in the housing market right now. It's absolutely bat crap crazy. And what you realize when you actually crunch the numbers is they have turned it into now, if you're looking to make a financial decision, renting is going to be your option because it is so much cheaper to rent. And there's no guarantee, and this is maybe the big change, there's no guarantee that you're going to make a profit on your house. There is no guarantee because it's so volatile.
Not anymore. Not with the interest rates. People it's a screwed up deal. Well, Owen, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, maybe in the future, Owen and I will be doing a new project. You crushed it tonight. Is there anything you want to shout out? Where can people find you and support you? I know you're all over Twitter. They almost let you back on YouTube, but now they took that away. You should make a channel.
We're going to test those waters.
But wait. You're right. Wait a week. Like, wait a week after all this rumbling and jumbling, then join. They waited the day after, and it made YouTube look bad. Like, I would wait,
Well, that was all. There was some insider stuff going on there. That was not by happenstance. I'll just leave it at that. But you're on YouTube, right? We're on YouTube right now.
We're on YouTube right now. We got 3,000 people watching. Make sure to hit that like button because there's not 3,000 likes.
What's up, YouTube? Yeah, I think when I got banned from YouTube, they never told me why, Alex. I never got one single strike. They just nuked my channel out of nowhere. So I'm gonna see what we're gonna do about YouTube.
Make a YouTube, but just wait like a week or two. Let all this drama dies down. But I would just make one under the radar. And you almost don't want everybody tweeting, Owen's got a new YouTube. You kind of just want to
right. It's like you do because that's how you grow a channel, but then you don't because then that's how they ban you. So
and they definitely know who Owen Shroyer is, and everybody should know who Owen Shroyer is. And Owen is an American patriot, a political prisoner that, came out on the other end stronger. And I mean it when I say I look up to that toughness and that grit, Owen, and I try to be more manly like you every day. All right, Owen, thank you for joining us, guys. Everybody go support Owen Shroyer. Did you shout out anything?
Owen Report launches October 6th. I am America's anchorman.
Owen Report. Everybody go watch that October 6th. Everybody, that is a direct order call to action. Go out and support Owen Shroyer.
And then you and I are going to be linking arms for the greatest late night show that the internet has ever seen. How about that?
I love it. I love it. And
that's a big tease. I wasn't expecting that to happen tonight.
I
like
it. Well, we have to. people might think it's woo-woo, but you do need to manifest stuff. You need to say it out loud. You need to kind of talk it out.
And I'm a serious guy, okay? I do serious news coverage, and I want to be respected as a serious commentator.
Yeah, but
you know
you
what?
really
I
like to
have
cut up.
fun.
Yeah, you know you like to cut up.
Fun.
Yeah,
I like to cut it up with you a little bit. I like
do.
to go to a football game. You know,
You like
I like
to-
to
yes.
make a joke.
Oh, and
you know,
you like to let it loose, and that's why I think that.
And why wouldn't you? You live in America, baby. Let's have some fun, huh?
I agree. We got to have fun while we can, because even though America is so bad, we can't afford a home. You know, we're constantly stressed about all these geopolitical conflicts. It's still the greatest country on earth, and if you work hard enough, you can be successful in this country, and that's why this country is the best. All right, Owen, thank you for joining us, everybody. We love you. Oh, and tonight is our last show of this week, but I will be at University of South Carolina on Monday the 29th. I hope to see you guys there. We'll be there during the day and the night. We're doing a mock trial, and we're going to put America on trial, or racism on trial. We're going to put different topics on trial and see if people can win their argument, and I'll be the judge of that. So mock trial during the day. And
Alex,
yes.
Brandon had an idea. You could freestyle rap the ad read.
Oh, do we do it? Some bourbon chase trends. Flying Ace chases legacy. Can't you see? This is straight bourbon the way it was meant to be. Bold and balanced, unapologetically American. No gimmicks, no fluff. Just for whiskey made for people who still believe in hard work, high standards, and doing things the right way. Not gay. Whether you're winding down after a long day, raising a glass with good company. Flying Ace delivers every day. Can't you see? It's not about hype. It's about heritage and getting back to what bourbon is always supposed to be. If that sounds like you're poor, it's time to level up. Buy online at flyingaspirits.com. Use the code BLAZE for that free shipping. Now you're candy flipping. Drink the whiskey, drink it down your throat. Don't drive a mother trucking boat. That's a BWI. Boating while intoxicated. You'll go to jail and you'll have to make bail. All right, that's our episode. Love you guys. Peace.